Sure. So I farm with my family, which includes my wife and our 1-year-old daughter, my parents, and also my brother. We run a small grain crop and veal operation east of Tavistock. We market approximately 200 veal cattle a year, as well as we grow corn, soybeans, wheat, and Romano beans. I also work full-time off the farm in the feed industry, primarily working with dairy producers in our area, finding solutions to their problems on farm and recommending feed options. So I been around the farm my entire life, and it's just something that I can't picture not being a part of my life. So we've been in raising veal calves for about 10 years now, and I've slowly kind of grown to maximize what our facility can hold currently. I really enjoy working with calves and watching them grow and thrive, and having healthy calves really makes my day. When there's sick calves, it's definitely the worst part of my day. Working in the feed industry, I really enjoy working with dairy producers, learning about what they're dealing with and helping them find solutions. Being out there every day on farm and really helps me on my day-to-day at the farm at home. Utilizing different ideas, even though it is different sectors, there's a lot of overlap and a lot of things that I can bring home from my daily job. So I think the first one would be right now is the supply of calves. So increased productivity in the dairy industry has led to less calves being born, and changes in terms of their breeding decisions has also impacted supply. A lot more dairy cattle are being bred to beef. And then we're just trying to figure out as a sector how does that impact the veal industry in Ontario, and switching away from Holstein primarily to more and more of these beef cross calves. Second challenge would be the cost of production. Like everything else right now, prices are just going up so fast, and we're just not getting that return right now. So trying to figure that out as well. And the third one would be just relevance. We're a smaller livestock sector, and we don't always get the same attention from researchers and others in the livestock industry. So working to find opportunities to work in the sector and finding incentives for researchers to want to dive into the veal industry further. Most common place I get ideas from would be talking with other farmers and seeing their operation, figuring out what they're doing. It would be another one. I haven't had quite as many the last 2 years due to COVID, but would be trade shows, talking with people there and coming up with different ideas for what we can do better, and also reading farm publications. All the magazines that come in the mail sometimes pique my interest, and just finding ways to do things more efficiently, more profitably are kind of the keys to why I'm curious on finding ways to do things better. So we are limited right now. We are in an old bank barn facility that isn't the most efficient for growing veal cattle. However, we do try to make the most of it while we explore options on what we can do to build a new facility. So in the last couple of years, we did put some air tubes over top of the calves to improve the air quality in the barn. Work close with our vet to discuss treatments and vaccinations and figure out what is best for us. And if we have issues, we can find a solution quickly. And then on the feed side would be using a step down weaning plan for getting calves off of milk. So instead of just cutting them off of milk completely, you just slowly step them down, and have seen a big improvement from that. So I think until we get into a new facility, we are kind of limited on what innovations we can implement. So one would be being practical, helping producers address the challenge that they have. So one right now, key on my mind, and like many others, is cost of production, which would be how do we improve the feed conversion ratios. How do we put less feed into these animals and get better output? Another one too is reducing our antibiotic usage, which is a challenge in the veal sector. We're bringing in week-old, 2-week-old calves into a different facility, and there's lots of change and intermingling. So figuring out solutions to reduce our usage. Another one right now is key on my mind and others is animal housing. So there's lots of different options out there and trying to figure out which is best for these calves in terms of health and growth, but also what works for producers, what can we make work. So working closely with the organization, so in the veal sector, the Veal Farmers of Ontario, working closely with them to build workshops and tools, writing articles, doing webinars, that type of thing, that we can get that knowledge from the research out to the farmers would be the best way. I think also researchers need to be focused on what is needed in the sector at the time and not just what they are interested in. So a bit of a balance there, because yeah, there is a lot of issues in our sector, and sometimes it feels like what is being researched isn't always applicable to what we're dealing with currently. So one would definitely be money. Funding isn't always available to a smaller sector like veal for research projects and sharing those results. Yeah, and I mean, also we're a smaller sector. There's a lot of small farms. To implement changes, it takes a big financial commitment, and yeah, it is difficult for smaller firms to sometimes do that. The other one would be information. All these new innovations that are out there, they sometimes can improve productivity, but there also is the risk that might not happen. Yeah, figuring out what is best and which innovation makes sense for a farm. So reach out to those who are in the industry, talk to producers, figure out what they're dealing with, what they want research done on, and making sure that research is applicable to farmers, that they can actually use that on their farm, and ask questions for those that are in the industry. Yeah, farmers, veterinarians, feed industry people. Yeah, everybody who's involved in the veal industry, making sure that they're involved and asking them questions if there's uncertainty.